I think that the best way to understand a new technology is keep your hand dirty. For that, we are here today for a new lecture where we will speak about how to understand Kubernetes and Helm by example. For that, I prepared for you a new project where we have three parts. A front-end app using Angular, a second part is a backend Flask API, and the latest is a NoSQL database using MongoDB. After that, we need to keep our data safe inside our cluster, so to make the communication between the Flask API and the Mongo database, we need a service type cluster IP to ensure the communication between the Mongo database and Flask API, but keep our data is accessible only inside our cluster. But we need to make our Angular application accessible from the outside. For that, we need a node port to expose our pod or our deployment to the level of our node. The same for the backend Flask API application, and after that we need to use an ingress to make our application, the backend and the frontend application, accessible from the outside of our cluster. For that, we need to create an ingress for our Angular application and keep our application accessible from the outside. The same for the backend part, we have an ingress and node port and make our backend accessible from the outside of our cluster to ensure the communication between the backend and the frontend parts. This is the architecture of our application. We learn today the overview of our application, and in the next lecture we will speak about how we can create deployment for each component, how create a services type node port and cluster IP to ensure the communication between component, how we can make our application accessible from the outside using ingress to ensure the communication between the front end and the backend application. This is all for today. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you in the next lecture. Bye bye.